Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to show you the best weapons in Killing Floor 3. These are the weapons you need to be using if you're not already, and also what skills you need and what mods you need to take them to the next level. I know that the G33 and also the Vulcan are almost objectively the best weapons in this game, so I've tried to, shine a little light on some of the other weapons that I've been using and that I recommend you using as well. So the first weapon that I want to show you is the Bonebreaker. Now the Bonebreaker is the engineer's shotgun, and it can fire explosive rounds, and you can actually synergize this with one of the engineer's perks to make explosions happen just constantly. And the mod you want is called the Toxicity Explosive Slugs, and this is one of the ammo mods. Now when you put this on, you can upgrade this to tier 3 like all of the mods in this game, and when you upgrade this to tier 3, something great happens. You get 150% AoE, which in other words makes your explosions bigger. You also get knockdown as well, so knockdown power and more accuracy. So that's the one mod I recommend putting on this if you only have to choose one, but of course if you have the currency or the resources to upgrade this with other mods, then do that. But explosive slugs for this before anything else. The perk you want is called Full Blast. With Full Blast, the radius for explosive weapons is increased by 60%. That's on Full Blast +3. Also, self-damage from explosive weapons is reduced by 80%, so you won't go blowing yourself up. As you can see from the explosions when you unleash these explosive rounds, with that mod upgraded to tier 3 and with the perk upgraded to +3, the explosives happen all the time and it's absolutely constant. So here's what it looks like in the game. With maximum explosions, you're just taking out all kinds of Zeds all the time, and there's showers of blood and giblets. Now there is one downside to this weapon. It's that on the default fire mode you are going to be churning through ammo, so you might run out of ammo quite quickly with this, and I am having to refill my ammo every time between rounds. I am just churning through it. It's like a machine gun where every shot explodes. But luckily there is a secondary fire mode, so if you click in the RB button, you switch to a single shot mode, and that's much better for precision. So if you are worried about running dry on the bullets, you can switch to the single shot mode with a secondary fire and then explode people that way. But yeah, they still do explode, and it is very, very satisfying. Even the toughest enemies in the game stand no chance when you just pepper them with explosive rounds and totally melt through any armor they thought they had. Next up, it's the katana. Now if you've not been using katanas in Killing Floor 3, you are missing out. Katanas are so much fun, especially when you customize it. So the number one mod I recommend putting on this is the Stunning Coating. This is in the first mod slot, and what the Stunning Coating gives you is 100% stun affliction. What this means is enemies are just getting stunned left, right and center. So on tier 3 you get 100% stun affliction, so just upgrade that mod to tier 3 and you also get extra bonus damage as well. Other mods down here also give you block power, and that's the second thing that I recommend contributing to this, which is block power. So the more block power you have on this weapon, courtesy of the mods, then the just easier it's going to be to not take any damage. So you can tank loads of damage just by having block power. The ninja skill that optimizes this even further is this one. So it's on the first level, which is great, and maximum armor is increased by 50. Also, stamina lost while blocking attacks is reduced by 50, which essentially gives you much greater defense. So that's the first skill. You can go through these and unlock more skills, for instance one that gives you better parrying, and one that makes you take no damage from enemy and environmental ground damage effects, which is helpful, but that might take a lot of people quite a while to work through all of the levels for the ninja. So if you have to get one, get the first one, and that's going to increase your armor and your defense. But what does this look like in a match? Well, here we go. These are the electrified, stunning swords from the ninja, or I should call them katanas. But you can churn through enemies with this just slicing and dicing, and it's a lot of fun. I love how the katanas look when you've upgraded them, especially with that stunning effect on it. So the enemies are just getting stunned. They have no room to attack you because you know, you're just churning through them at such a rate. And also what I like about this is there's absolutely no room for error, so you're not going to try and hit someone and miss, because the swords just hit anyone that's in your field of view. Unlike a gun where you have to actually aim it and shoot and hit the target, with swords everything on screen is the target. So it's really, really useful and pretty much a beginner friendly weapon, and you just feel completely invulnerable. Really, really good, especially if you are playing solo, because when you're playing solo, sometimes you're backed into a corner and there's no backup coming. So yeah, if you need to, just whip out your katanas and block, and then that's that done. Really, really fun. One other thing with the ninja, if you are playing as the ninja, don't forget about the shurikens. Now you can customize your shurikens, which are in other words your projectiles, so I recommend doing that. And what I like to do is put confusion on my shurikens. So when you have confusion on these, every time you don't take out an enemy, they actually get confused. So with the you know, the best case scenario is you take them out in one go, which happens a lot. But if you don't take them out and you haven't done enough damage, they'll be alive, but they will now be confused. And what confusion does is make Zeds attack their own kind. So they'll stop attacking you and they will attack their other teammates, so they will attack other Zeds, and that is really useful to have. So I'm going to put shurikens on this list of the best weapons as well. So those are 3 weapons you need to be using: the Bonebreaker, the katanas, and the shurikens. On to the 4th weapon, and this is the Scar. The Scar is really underrated because I don't really see that many people use it, but when you customize this and add on a specific mod, it gets really, really powerful. And this mod is the penetrative rounds mod, or the armor piercing rounds if you want to use that terminology. And what this gives you is penetration power. So if you cast your eyes to the right of this screen and you look at the bar which represents the penetration power, you'll see that is almost at the maximum. So we're going to get maximum penetration power with this mod, especially if you upgrade this to level 3. That's even more penetration power. As well as that, check out the damage. We're going to have way more damage, 18% damage, and stumble affliction as well. So the enemies, they're going to be stumbling, they're going to get damaged, and yeah, it's just a joy to use. If you can afford it, get a bunch of more, if you can afford it, get extra mods like these ones. So we can have the long distance operator suppressor, which has more accuracy, more recoil, and more Z time gain multiplier. So that is a 50% Z time gain multiplier. You could also get the heavy frame receiver, so that just ups your damage by 25%, just a straight damage boost on top of that. But I don't like to overwhelm with too many suggestions for mods, so if you can only afford one, get those armor piercing rounds. And yeah, I'm going to show you what this looks like. And number one, what the best thing I like to use this for is taking out husks. Now, when you take out a husk, all you need to do is take them out with one shot. So shoot them right through the chest, and the bullet actually goes through their chest and blows up their explosive canister on the back. So no longer do you have to melee the husks, get them to turn around and then shoot the explosive canisters. You can take them on from the front and shoot them through their chests using the armor piercing rounds. One shot husks down. That is a very good benefit from the Scar. And I mean, it goes without saying, but you can take out groups much more easily with the armor piercing rounds. So if a group of Zeds comes at you, you can line them up and then take them out in one shot. So here are the husks again, and if you are accurate, you can take them out in one shot. If you're not, it might take you 3 just to target that fuel canister. But you kind of have to use X-ray vision, so you have to think beyond the husk. You have to look into the fuel canister and try and target that. Even though you can't see it, you just know it's on the back. You can also take out sirens, just a nice little headshot, and there you go. And again, if you line up the siren so it's in front of a bunch of enemies and then shoot the siren, that bullet's going to go through the siren into the enemies behind it. You can use armor-piercing rounds on other weapons, but for me, I've played around with it a bit, and the Scar just really excels with the armor-piercing rounds. Also, we have the single shot fire and we have the multi-shot fire. I like the single shot just so I'm not, you know, going through all my ammo and just wasting all my ammo on spraying it around. I like to line up those shots, and nothing is better at doing that than the Scar. Okay, this might be one of the most popular weapons in the game, and it's for very good reason. This is the G33. The community is going wild for this weapon, to the point where a lot of people think that the developers are going to nerf this weapon because it's so good. But I mean, in any list of the best weapons in Killing Floor 3, you have to include the G33 because it's incredible. And there are a few ways you can customize this. The way that I like to customize it is with confusion grenades. So when you put confusion grenades on this, all of the enemies that were once attacking you are now going to attack each other. The reason that they work so well in grenade form is because the grenades have an AoE effect. So any enemy that stumbles into that confusion area gets confused. It's not like you have to target individual enemies with a bullet and confuse them that way. Actually, the grenades explode and then they confuse multiple enemies in one go. So yeah, what you want is the Surrounded Strike Confusion Grenades mod. What this gives you as well on level 3 is Confusion Affliction 25%. It also gives you 20% damage, 65% AoE scale. If you want even better performance out of the G33, I recommend the Armored Allies Affliction Amplifier. What this gives you is a massive 200% afflictions bonus. So I believe that is triple the potency of afflictions. So if it was 100% times, that would be double, but it's 200, so that is triple, I believe, if my fractions are correct. But yeah, G33 with those two mods, which is the Afflictions Amplifier and the Confusion Ammo, is an absolute beast. So these are the two mods I recommend. But if you want, you know, you can get the extended barrel, get the red dot sight, and then if you want as well, customize it with a nice little paint job. But here is what the confusion grenades look like. So what you can do is just target the ground and explode enemies, and I mean, that is one way to do it. You can do that and take them out, but if you shoot enemies and they don't immediately get eliminated by the damage of the confusion grenades, like here we go, then they will get confused. So this guy totally ignores us and turns around to focus on the Zeds. And what I like as well is, while they are confused, the damage from friendly Zeds doesn't hurt you, even if you accidentally stumble into it. So as you just noticed, the bile from that Zed, it kind of splashed on us and we got in the middle of it, but because they are friendly, it did not hurt, which is a nice little plus. And you can confuse any Zed that attacks you, so you can confuse these guys, you can confuse the husks, you can confuse the scrakes. Any Zed is able to be confused. And sometimes I just confuse Zeds and then I like to watch the carnage unfold, but that's to my detriment because, you know, Zeds just have a habit of coming up behind and attacking that way. So don't get too comfortable just watching everyone have a battle with each other, even though it is fun to watch all the Zeds turn on each other. How very fickle of them. And last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination, is the Vulcan. Now the Vulcan is almost objectively, if not actually objectively, the best weapon in Killing Floor 3, and I fully believe this is going to get nerfed really soon. So before that happens, make sure to take advantage of it. The Vulcan is one of the Firebug's weapons, but of course you don't have to be a Firebug to use this weapon. You can purchase weapons from other classes in the game. It's just a Firebug can really take advantage of it due to their skills. But before we get to the skills, here are the mods I recommend putting on the Vulcan to really supercharge this thing. This is the first one. It's going to be Combat Cure Supercharged Plasma, and what this does is it's in slot 1, so it's in the ammo slot, and it gives you an 100% AoE scale and 50% burn affliction. So just straight off the bat, massively increases the scale of the AoE effects and also the burn. And because this is a fire weapon, burn is exactly what you want. The other mods, if you go to the different slots, they contribute about 10% damage, 20% damage. When you put them on, the Boss Bash Team Up Slow Tick Receiver actually contributes 52% damage. So if you put all of these mods on, the Supercharged Plasma, the Plasma Focuser, Ultra Octane and Slow Tick Receiver, you will be doing 100% more damage, which is insane. Now, if you have to put any perk on the Firebug as you're using the Vulcan, make sure it's this one. This is the Extinguisher. What the Extinguisher does is triply damage enemies when you reload and they are burning. So to put it another way, if an enemy is burning and you reload while they're burning, they will take triple damage. Now, if you put that with the other mods that I've just put on this weapon, like the you know, the mod that damages 50%, then you're doing like 200% extra damage with the Vulcan. Plus, as well as that, the Extinguisher gives you weapon reload speed increased by 25%. If an enemy is not burning, the reloading of the weapon still damages them. So weapon reloading damages nearby enemies, applying panic, and 75% heat damage. So it's not going to be triple damage, but it's still an extra dose of heat damage. So yeah, the Vulcan, really, really good. Suspiciously good. Too good, and I think the devs are gonna patch this. But you know what, I want to know about you. What weapons are you using in Killing Floor 3, and what ways are you customizing them? Let me know down in the comments what sort of build you're using, and yeah, I'll give you a little shout out in the next video. All right, thank you so much for watching. For more Killing Floor 3 guys, subscribe to the channel.